Hello and welcome to the online MA in 3D animation at Buckinghamshire University and also to Animation Apprentice, our partner school where we train animators to become working professionals. Now this video is about how to write a great CV. My name's Alex Williams and I supply the practical content. I'm the founder of Animation Apprentice and I also run the Buckinghamshire New University animation blog, which is where I tend to start for these videos because it's full of really great resources for all of our students at BNU. So if you want to find some information on a CV, you're going to go to the search bar and just type the letters CV and then click on search, and that will pull up quite an old blog post now. This is one I wrote in 2013. But it's still all relevant today. The importance of a CV has not really changed, and unlike so many things in the digital sphere, the CV remains basically the same. So I'm just going to click on that and go through the 8 things that to me are important for a really good CV. Rule number 1 is find one and then copy it. I like this approach because it saves you starting from scratch. If you find a good CV that a friend has or one you found online, and then just copy that. It doesn't need to be beautiful. The formatting itself is not particularly important. What's important is the information on it. That's really, it's not the CV that gets you the job, it's your demo reel. So the CV is really just information. So that brings us to rule 2, which is keep it short. People tend to write long CVs, especially when they're young. They don't realize that, the people who are going to be reading these things are very, very busy. They're not going to read your 10-page essay on what you did at Scouts when you were a kid. You really don't want anything longer than 2 sides of A4. So keep it really, really short. It's just what you've done. And you might want to edit your CV for different jobs. I have a tendency to do this, have done in the past. If I was applying for a 3D animation job, I'd put all the 3D stuff at the top. If I was applying for a 2D animation job, I'd put all the 2D stuff at the top. Equally with teaching, your academic credentials are going to want to go at the top. So you can edit it around depending on what you're applying for. Short personal statement, rule 4, yes, but keep this really short. I know you're a team player, I know you're passionate about your work. Everybody says that stuff, so you can leave all of that out. This is really just about your skills, like what do you do? What software do you know? Okay, you do 3D animation, you know Maya, maybe you know Blender, maybe you know a bit of lighting. Add that stuff, your basic skills, so people know what you're applying for. Sometimes people will apply for any job at an animation company, but recruiters don't like that because they want to know what you specialize in. Rule 5, add a referee. People are going to call up your referees just to find out that you're an okay person and you brush your teeth and you trim your nails and you turn up on time and you're not going to flake out after 3 days on the job. So just add a couple of names and that way an employer can get in touch with them. You also want to send in a cover letter. This is a separate letter. There's a separate blog post on how to write a cover letter, so have a look at that. But you're going to want to write, it just says, dear sir, madam, I'm really interested in working for your company, and here's why my skill set I think is a good fit, and please see attached my CV. Again, the cover letter is going to be really, really short. Don't write an essay, they're not going to read it. Rule number 7, always have a link to your demo reel. Now this is really important, and then this should probably be rule 1. You want a link to your reel on your CV that they can just click on the link and go straight to your demo reel. That is really important, and if that link doesn't work, your CV is probably going in the bin because they're looking at a lot of CVs and resumes, and if you don't have a clickable link to a demo reel that works, they're going to move on. Rule number 8, add your contact details. You'd be surprised how many people miss this out. People leave off their phone number, they leave off their street address, and then you have to contact them and say, oh, what's your number? And then 48 hours later they get back to you. Don't make people do this. You might think that your physical street address is not important. It is. It's very important. We need to know where you are in the world. Are you in West London or are you in Bolivia? It makes a difference. Maybe it's an in-person job. Maybe it's remote. We still need to know where you live, and payroll in particular have to have a street address in order to get you paid. So please put your street address on your CV. We have lots and lots of jobs resources at Bucks New University and also our partner school Animation Apprentice. I've got some links down here. Do make use of them. They're all here designed for you, and they all answer the most frequently asked questions that we get at BNU and how to start your career, how to find work in the industry. That's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to help you get started. get that first job, land that job in the industry, and have a flourishing and successful career in animation.